Landry Etheridge here, today joined by Claire Mixon of Etheridge Counseling Group here in Charleston, South Carolina. And today we're going to talk about spring. Spring is fully here, as you can see by the greenery behind me. The pollen is in the air, and everyone's feeling a bit anxious, it seems. So, Claire, you just wrote a wonderful article about why anxiety sometimes gets worse in the spring. And I'm just going to dive right in. I've got a few questions for you that I'd love to hear more from you about. The first question is that, a lot of people think of spring as sort of this happy, joyful time, which it is. It's warm, the flowers are blooming. But I'm interested in, as your article says, why anxiety can actually increase for people at this time of year.
Yeah, seems a little counterintuitive, but during any kind of change, people can struggle. You have new things to adapt to, so there's some physical aspects of it, like the sun rising and setting at different times, like the pollen, like those types of things can have an impact on our mental health, probably more than we realize. And then there's also the aspect this feels like a time where you need to do spring cleaning and you need to like shake off the winter and get back into like your active lifestyle. And so I think there's a lot of pressure to kind of do that and keep up with other people who are being really productive. And so sometimes that can just create some anxiety.
That makes a lot of sense. You talk about how changes like longer daylight
Mhm.
and disrupted sleep can often affect anxiety. Can you explain kind of what's happening in the body during the seasonal shift from winter into springtime?
Yeah, so well, some of it is like your nervous system's adjusting to new like a new cycle, new weather. There's like disruptive sleep can have a big impact on like your mental health, your like just energy levels, all of it. So and then there's also the like your circadian rhythm is changing because of the because the days are longer and the you're going to bed at a different time, all of that. So it just kind of throws things off. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but
Mhm.
a lot of people can struggle with those changes.
That makes a lot of sense. And it definitely when the time changes for me, I swear it takes me a few weeks to get
Yeah.
used to that every time.
Yes.
There's also a psychological layer, as you mentioned in your article, like pressure to be productive, which I've definitely
Mhm.
noticed for myself this year,
Mhm.
or just sort of comparing yourself to others, social media, body image, things coming up. Why do you think spring tends to bring this on?
Yeah, I think because in wintertime, often people are inside. You're kind of hibernating, like being staying home, being cozy, and then all of a sudden, when the weather's nice, it's like, okay, now we can get out and we can do all these things that we haven't been able to do because of the bad weather and the cold and all of that. So it's kind of like, okay, jump back to life, kind of feeling, which for a lot of which can be exciting or energizing, but then sometimes if you're not feeling great, it just adds more pressure and more anxiety to feel really good at this time of year and to take
Mhm.
advantage of the longer days and all of that. And it's also any like time of season changes, it can be easy to think back to, okay, where was I this time last year? And if you aren't where you would like to be, like that comparison can also bring up a lot of anxiety for people and self-judgment.
Mhm. Gosh, I forgot that that's a thing. That's definitely very true. You kind of at these markers, okay, I had made these resolutions next spring, it was going to be different or whatever it might
Mhm.
be. And
Yeah.
the comparison game, yeah, even with just yourself
Yeah, yeah.
is very. What are some simple ways that someone can support themselves if they're feeling more anxious, right now?
Yeah. I think a great way is to just really focus on sleep. So, trying to maintain a consistent sleep schedule, making sure you're getting enough sleep for your body, and keeping that steady can make all of the other things a little bit easier.
Mhm. Mhm.
Notice if you are having any like allergies or if your body's reacting differently, like you need to hydrate more because it's so hot in Charleston and it's starting to warm up. Like all of those things
Yeah.
are really important. And then reducing stimulation if you're feeling really overwhelmed. Like this can't, like the bridge run was just this weekend. Like there's a million people out, and that can be really overstimulating. So if monitor if you are feeling that way and give yourself the time and space to rest. And then I think being aware of those thoughts is probably a good one to end on, and just noticing when those comparisons are popping up or you are feeling anxious, and
Mhm.
noticing it, bringing awareness to it can often make it feel not quite so powerful.
Yeah, that's so good. Gosh, thank you so much, Claire. Very, very timely topic. And as always, I appreciate hearing your wisdom and insight. And for anybody listening who's experiencing a spike in anxiety or maybe something completely different and you'd like to talk to a therapist about it, you can reach out to etheridgecounseling.com and schedule a free consultation to talk about working with Claire, one of our other therapists here. Thank you so much for your time. Bye bye.